Good evening, folks, and thanks for joining us again this evening for our February 2nd meeting. And we'll start in with the agenda. First of all, the adoption of the agendas and minutes. First, adoption of the meeting agenda for February 2nd, 2021. Moved by Councillor Hillier, second by Deputy Mayor Murphy. Discussion. All those in favour? Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Adoption of the meeting minutes of January 19th, 2021. Moved by Councillor Tilley, second Councillor Butler. Discussion. All those in favour? Those opposed? Motion carried. Business arising from previous minutes? There being none. Visitors, presentations, and petitions? There being none. New business. We'll start off with Deputy Mayor Murphy.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Just a couple of items. First, on a bit of a sad note, I'd like to extend condolences to Councillor Hillier's family on the passing of his father, Mr. John Hillier, this past week or so. I'm sure it's been a pretty trying time for Councillor Hillier's family and himself, so we wish you all the best, sir. Of course, this is the 1st of February, and the tax bills are out, the invoices are in the mail, and I just want to make a couple of reminders to residents that the tax bills were sent out in the mail and by email during the first week of January. And residents are encouraged to review the information included on the reverse side of the tax bill or in the link provided in the email for payment options and incentive programs. Tax bills for 2021 are due on February 26th, and residents should arrange payment in full or enroll in the payment plan prior to that date. The town is currently owed arrears of taxes of more than $4.3 million. This has increased over $600,000 over the balance owed at the end of 2019. The town recognizes that 2020 was a difficult year for a lot of people. However, the town also needs to collect amounts owing to provide the cash flow required to fund its day-to-day operations. Residents are encouraged to contact financial services staff to arrange payment plans to clear up arrears balances and to avoid further collection efforts. Staff are currently reviewing all accounts and will be starting collection proceedings in the coming weeks. Staff will also work with residents to find solutions to clear up outstanding accounts. However, it is important for residents to reach out and contact staff to avoid escalation of their account. Collection efforts will include water disconnection, legal action, and third-party collection agency and sale of property. So, Your Worship, we encourage all residents to be vigilant, and you know, we realize, of course, this is hard times for a lot of people, but we're also in a position where we can help residents who find themselves in such a state. So, again, that's just a reminder to the residents, and that's all I have, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Murphy. Councillor Uden.
Yeah, a few things this evening, Your Worship. I'd just like to echo Councillor Murphy's condolences to Councillor Hillier. The second thing is I picked up in the news this afternoon was there was some vandalism at, I guess, a property on the border of Manuel's River, which is probably going to be a mosque, is known publicly now. And I know the mosque and the owners of it more or less have declined to press charges against the youth and minors involved. I just, you know, I think that's A, sad. B, I think that's not Conception Bay South, and that's not the community that I know, and it's an excellent use of that property, and irregardless of religion, we certainly would welcome them and hope that they make an incredible investment in that property. It's a beautiful spot, and I'm sure they would find Conception Bay South a lot more welcoming than their current dilemma. The last thing I'd just certainly like to highlight, and a lot of us heard this over Christmas time, was Council has been discussing fireworks. I know, Your Worship, you've been discussing it with other municipalities and so forth, but we're going to kind of, certainly there needs to be an investment in awareness and so forth. There are issues, and we're cognizant of that. And And we certainly got a bit of work to do in our community to make it safe and enjoyable for, I guess, all our residents and our pets and what have you during the holiday season. So I guess it's our intention to do some work on that, and hopefully for high period times like Canada Day and New Year's, we can certainly put a better foot forward. So I'll leave it there, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Uden. Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just one item I'd like to bring to attention tonight. I received a couple of emails this week regarding snow clearing of sidewalks, and of course one most notably the few residents asked about was the area between Dick's Place and Anchorage Road, and of course it's the south side of the highway, and I refer to it as I guess it's the highway that the old Ultramar station was there. That is covered under transportation and works. While residents are happy that we did upgrade the sidewalk and the crosswalks, everything there at Anchorage Road, the problem lies where we got to walk. You got to get from point A to point B to get across the crosswalk. And of course, it's unfortunate that is a little bit of a narrow gravel sidewalk, and of course it causes some problems when we do have a heavy batch of snow. So of course, I'd like for us to reach out to probably Transportation Works to see if they can probably look at coming in and trying to widen that out a tiny bit.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, just wanted to say thank you to all those who reached out with condolences to my family in the passing of our dad last week. It's certainly been important to the family and has helped us through this process, and so thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just want to as well pass on condolences to Councillor Hillier and his family, and at the service, Councillor Hillier gave a very wonderful tribute to his dad, and I was honored to hear it, and it was nice to learn about his life and his contributions, and what a impactful man he was, both with his family, and it was great to hear about his love of this community when he moved here. It was very nice to hear, and it was a great service. I just want to move on to one other thing, Your Worship. There's been a lot of talk. Of course, it's tax time. And one of the things is the seniors discount. And of course, because of the processes we have in place and the privacy issues, we don't retain the seniors' information from year to year. So unfortunately, seniors have to reapply each year for the seniors discount. I've spoken to a number of people about this, as we do pretty well every year this time, because this process has been into place since we brought in the seniors discount, something we're very pleased to do. One gentleman brought it to my attention that maybe for the benefit of those who would not know that, maybe new to the program or have only applied for it once, is that a notice maybe should go on the front page suggesting to seniors that you need to apply every year. And he said that he got an email of his tax bill, and it mentioned references to the second page, and he couldn't find a second page in the email. So sometimes that happens, and there's glitches and so forth. But I think maybe if we looked at possibly putting a friendly reminder right on the front of the tax bill for seniors and others that you have to apply annually might be a little helpful and stop on some of the confusion. Unfortunately, it's not a perfect system regardless. That's it for this evening, Your Worship. Thank you.
Your Worship, I got one item this evening concerning Winterfest. Town staff and members of the Winterfest committee are working on plans for this year's Winterfest celebrations. With current guidelines and safety practices, the Winterfest will look different from past years. With some events unobtainable to proceed, staff and the committee will work closely with the occupational health and safety coordinators to host safe and fun events for all our residents and visitors. That's for you, Worship. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Bursey. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a couple of things. First off, I'd also like to extend my condolences to Councillor Hillier and his family on the passing of their dad. A couple of other items. As Council's representative on the Seniors Advisory Committees and the Youth Advisory Council, thought I'd give a little update as to where we are right now. And the Seniors Advisory Committee, the first meeting of the new year for the Seniors Advisory Committee took place on January 21st. The main topic of discussion was the results of the age-friendly survey that was completed by residents of the town. There was a great response to the survey, with a total of 239 completed surveys being submitted. The next steps for this committee are to work with staff members to analyze the data that has resulted from the survey and develop a work plan for future steps in the age-friendly program. I'm certainly looking forward to that. On the Youth Advisory Council side, they had their first meeting of 2021 on January 20th. I'm very excited to welcome the youth members back and wish them great success, and also welcome the new members, and look forward to working on initiatives for this year. Thanks, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Councillor Davis.
Yes, Your Worship, I have a couple of items. The CBS Community Garden Committee has released an expression of interest inviting applications from residential neighbourhoods interested in leading the creation of neighbourhood gardens on town-owned lands. Interested residents will be asked to organize themselves and submit a detailed application of their proposed location, subcommittee members, as well as the names, addresses, and contact information for all residents surrounding their proposed location. The deadline for submissions is February 19, 2021. Another item I have is the Conception Bay Area Chamber of Commerce are continuing with Phase 2 of their Buy Local, Grow Local campaign. I would encourage all businesses in the town to consider becoming part of this directory found at www.conceptionbayarea.ca. We can only be stronger together, and our community wants to support your business. You can go online to add your new listing or enhance your current listing. This service is free to all businesses within the area. That's it for me, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Davis. I too want to start off by sending my condolences to the Hillier family. Councillor Hillier is here. Certainly I had the privilege of knowing all his family, certainly the boys, quite well. We've been on different political sides. We've been on different sides on ball fields and fought and argued and done it all. But, you know, the true measure sometimes of an individual is the family that they leave behind. And I have to say that the Hilliers have been long-time residents of our town and contributed greatly. And I certainly want to send my condolences to Councillor Hillier and certainly his whole family, because they are very good people, big contributors to our town, and certainly looking forward to decades more, and I'm sure Councillor Hillier is looking forward to a few more decades of contributing as well. Please God. I also want to raise a couple of other things quickly if I can. 2021 is an election year, and of course, let the area residents know we're all looking forward to that, even the people who are in it. Some of us gets our high from elections because we enjoy the camaraderie and the battle, and there's a good one happening now that some of us are intently watching, of course, and even taking wagers on occasion among friends and acquaintances for a little bit of sport when it all comes down to it. But, you know, everybody has the best interests of our province at heart, and I certainly want to wish all the candidates well. But from a municipal perspective, we have our own elections coming up, and I just want to let residents know that the council has decided to explore as many possible options as we can to allow people the ability to vote as easy as they can, whether that be a mail-in ballot, whether that becomes some kind of hybrid mail-in versus ballot box system. That'll be yet to be seen. But we've asked the clerk to do some work on our behalf, to do some research. And of course, in order for us to do it, the Municipalities Act has to allow that and so on. So, but we're working on it, and we're going to do everything in our possible to allow people to vote as easy as possible in 2021. The next thing I have to talk about, which is an unfortunate issue, and Councillor Uden spoke about it very eloquently earlier. I just want to say we saw today in the media, and we saw on social media a number of people responding to a mosque being vandalized in our town, and we quickly realized that actually I was approached by another mayor who had heard about it, and some national media were actually reaching out to him, because I guess nobody knew the severity of it. It seems that there was juveniles who were already caught for doing the damage that they done. I'm not sure. I have no reason to believe there was any kind of racism involved. However, I just want to be very clear on behalf of the residents of Conception Bay South that we certainly welcome the people who are coming to that mosque as residents or as visitors, and they have every right to be here, and we'll welcome them with open arms, as we do in Conception Bay South, people of all religions. We've always managed to have a harmonious, sometimes on ball fields and hockey rinks, it goes a little sideways, but all in good sport. And it was never once have I ever seen a religious kind of racism in our town, and it certainly won't be condoned by this council. As a matter of fact, if you're a racist, sooner you weren't even in our town. So I just want to assure the people who come to that Mass that whatever we can do to welcome you and feel at home, you're more than welcome to come. And whatever we can do to assist along the way, we are certainly there to step up and help. The last thing I want to speak about, of course, we had last week, we had a sea swell last week, which is a little different than what we had in Snowmageddon, where we saw the full force of the wind come on our shoreline. This time it was a sea swell. So I'm certainly not an ocean specialist, or I don't know if oceanographer is the correct word. I think they're the ones that draw out the ocean. And I'm certainly not a meteorologist who can explain the weather to anybody. But from what I've been told, it was a sea swell and basically washed out underneath the Barishway in Long Pond. Unfortunate, as most of our residents know, last year we had to invest $1.4 million replacing it. I just want to explain that a little bit before we go any further. So we replaced the Barishway based on the fact that we had to apply for funding. Now, we don't have the funding yet, but we have every reason to believe that that funding is on the way. As a matter of fact, we've been assured that it's covered. And it's just a matter of a process that naturally bureaucracies have to go through. But we could only replace what was previously there. So once it was done and completed, we knew full well that in today's world and climate change and so on, that probably wasn't going to be significant. Little did we think less than a year later we would be dealing with it again. However, we knew that over the next few years we would have to deal with the Barishways and other areas of our town. So we had already internally here had conversations about using engineers to see exactly what was done. Mother Nature didn't cooperate and didn't give us that much time. So now what we've done, we've sought engineers again. We've now gone out and got prices, which are supposed to be in by the end of the day tomorrow, is my understanding. So we've got as many prices as we possibly can get. And of course, we're going to award that as quickly as we can and get the work started, hopefully within days. And of course, we have to, that's depending on the weather as well, how fast they can get at it. So we're going to repair what's there, and then we're now out speaking already with federal and provincial officials who realize the issue that we have to face. And we've gone seeking, or in the process of seeking, some money to do a major repair. To do that with armor stone and some other stones that we talked about earlier, and our people who are engineers understand this a lot better than some of the rest of us, but we realize that bigger stone has to be used here, and it's a big financial commitment. So hopefully over the next few years we'll get a chance to do that and do it like it should be done properly to deal with today's climate change and so on. So I'll say to area residents and people who have other, the yacht club, we have area residents, we have businesses, we have our own infrastructure there as well, that we're doing everything we can. We're going to get it repaired as quickly as we can, and we're on top of it. We're certainly not lying down on this one, and we've already reached out to funding agencies to see how much is available or what we can get in the short term and in the long term to make the massive repair that will probably be needed over the next number of years. So I think that's all I have to say on that one. It's the Barishway. I think that's it for me for this week. All right. Now back to the business of the night. Recommendations of the Planning and Development Committee. Chair Councillor Hillier, but I don't know, Councillor Hillier, if you have anything to say on that, or do you want me to just... Okay, go ahead, Harry.
Yes, Your Worship. As you're aware, Planning Committee did not meet last week, but I do have a motion coming out of Committee of the Whole from our meeting this afternoon. Recommendation, be it so resolved that application number 20-G-177 received on November 26, 2020, seeking approval to erect a 3.66 metre by 7.3 metre extension to an existing accessory building at 102 Porters Road, be refused as the proposed extension encroaches into an easement which is contrary to section 5.2(3) of the town's development regulations, and the size of the expanded accessory building would exceed what is permitted by section 5.32 of the town's development regulations. And further, be it further resolved that the extension that was erected to an existing accessory building at 102 Porters Road prior to submission of an application for a permit to do so be removed from the property. So moved.
Seconder? Councillor Tilley, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this is an unfortunate situation where a resident built a significant extension to a garage without permit from the town, only to find out that the extension, most of the extension was sitting on a town sewer easement. And we've knocked it around, I think, well, it came to us November 26th, so we've been at it for a couple of months now trying to find some resolution to it, but basically, unfortunately, we cannot allow that to remain as is, and we're asking that the gentleman remove the extension.
All those fit?
Yeah, just quickly, Your Worship, I'm going to vote against it. It's a tough predicament, but I guess from my perspective, many of us met with the gentleman. It's a rather large property. It's not on the sewer pipe per se, and the gentleman was willing to sign the legal affidavit that he would remove it should there be any need. So from my perspective, I'd certainly, would like to work with him. I certainly understand that, you're not supposed to build on easements and all that, but I'll be voting against this recommendation.
Yeah, for me, I mean, this stuff is tough. We know this is a person who looks after their property and so on, but unfortunately, we have to have these rules and regulations in place, and we have to uphold them because we have to show consistency to all our residents. And so that's why I think the majority of us will be voting in favor of this this afternoon, but there's just, I felt I had to add that because we know this is a resident who takes great pride in his property and so on. And it's very unfortunate, like Councillor Hillier said, it's something that's gone on and something that we struggle with. But the unfortunate thing is we have to carry through, and the regulations are in place for a good reason. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you, Your Worship. That's all for me.
Recommendations of the Air Engineering and Public Works Committee. Chair, Councillor Gerard Tilley.
Thank you, Your Worship. The following are a presentation of our recommendations of our meeting held on January 26th. The first one is a ratification of PO number 2020-1075, Unit 104, and I believe that's our town's grader. The number does seem a bit high there for repairs, but of course this will extend the life of this particular vehicle for another couple of years. So be it so resolved that approval be given to Brent Tractor Limited to ratify purchase order number 2020-1075 in the amount of $18,393.50 plus HST. Funds to be taken from the so noted account. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler. Discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. The second item is the Capital Fleet 2021 water and sewer van purchase. This new piece of equipment will provide the existing water and sewer van, which is a 2010 model with over 274,000 kilometers. And of course, this vehicle is a key piece for daily water and sewer operations and maintenance, and it's used 365 days a year. So be it so resolved that approval be given to purchase a 2021 Cube van from Hickman Motors Limited at a cost of $52,878 plus HST. Funds are available in a so noted account. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Bursey.
Your Worship, I'm going to declare a conflict. I wasn't, my father-in-law works at Hickman Motors.
Okay. Okay, you want to do that, read that motion again, Councillor Tilley?
Okay, I had to make a slight adjustment anyway. Be it so resolved that approval be given to purchase a 2021 Cube van from Hickman Motors Limited at a cost of $52,878 plus HST, and funds are available in the Capital Fleet account. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Bursey. Discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed, motion carried.
And Your Worship, the next recommendation is a maintenance assurance manual. A maintenance assurance manual is a provincial requirement for municipal public works that serves as a tool in assisting communities with the day-to-day operations of their water and sewer systems to ensure they meet regulatory requirements and conditions of their permit to operate. It will also provide a standardized set of procedures and forms which will consistently be used, which will allow for an easier transfer of information and knowledge of system performance when system operators change. Although these procedures and forms exist and being implemented day to day, the evolution of safety standards, best practices, and technology requires a thorough review and update. So be it so resolved that approval be given to engage CBCL Limited to prepare maintenance assurance manuals for the town's water and sewer systems at a cost of $30,440 plus HST. Funds are available in the so noted account. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Bursey. Discussion? All those in favour?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
And finally, the blanket recommendation. Be it so resolved that the recommendation decisions made at the Engineering and Public Works Committee meeting of January 26, 2021 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Bent. Discussion? All those in favour?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Recommendations of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee, Chair Councillor Junior Bursey.
Yes, Your Worship, we only got the blanket recommendation this evening. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions made at the Recreation and Leisure Services meeting of January 25th, 2021 be accepted and presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Davis. Discussion? All those in favour? Those opposed? Motion carried. Recommendation of the Financial and Admin Services Committee, Chair Deputy Mayor Richard Murphy.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. The first recommendation is coming from Committee of the Whole meeting held earlier this afternoon. Be it so resolved that approval be given to appoint George Porter to the position of Public Works Supervisor as per the terms and conditions of the employment contract. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Bent. Discussion? All those in favour? Those opposed? Motion carried.
And the following are the recommendations of a meeting held on January 26, 2021. The accounts payable check register, be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $371,480.93. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hillier. Discussion? All those in favour? Those opposed? Motion carried.
Ratification of manual checks previously released. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify the payment of manual checks previously released totaling $267,174.65. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Bursey. Discussion? All those in favour? Those opposed? Motion carried.
Ratification of direct payments previously released. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify direct payments previously released totaling $669,919.48. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Bent. Discussion? All those in favour? Those opposed? Motion carried.
Capital invoices. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $234,847.86 as per the attached table. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler. Discussion? All those in favour? Those opposed? Motion carried.
Tax and other receivable adjustments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust tax and other receivables accounts as per the attached list. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hillier. Discussion? All those in favour? Those opposed? Motion carried.
Gas tax funding capital investment plan. Be it so resolved that approval be given to submit a capital investment plan to the Gas Tax Secretariat in the amount of $2,500,000 for the upgrade of Minerals Road. So moved.
Seconder? Councillor Tilley, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship. Just want to make note that this is been a long time coming. We've spent considerable amount of funding over the past few years on our collector roads, being Legion Road and Lawrence Pond Road. These are the connector roads that go into Peacekeepers Way, and of course the only one left now is Minerals Road. So, and we've also, of course, did a lot of work on Fowler's Road. So this is very welcoming news, and hopefully this construction season we will see a major upgrade to the last collector road leading into basically the centre of town. So this is good news for sure.
Yep.
Thank
Agree
you.
more. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carried.
And the blanket recommendation, be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions made at the Financial and Administrative Services Committee meeting of January 26th, 2021 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder? Councillor Bin. Discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Murphy. Recommendations of the Economic Development and Tourism Chair, Councillor Cheryl Davis.
Yes, Your Worship. Recommendations of meeting held January 26, 2021. Heritage regulations. Recommendation, be it so resolved that the heritage regulations be adopted as presented. So moved.
Seconder? Councillor Bursey. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship. Our heritage regulations were last adopted in 2013 and required a refresh. Our partnership with the Heritage Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador is now reflected in our new regulations, which outline procedures for designating properties, obtaining permits for work, and protecting designations. In total, the town has designated 33 properties, groups, people, and events, all of which are listed on our heritage page of the town's website.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Second recommendation, McCann Export Community Investment Fund 2021. Recommendation, be it so resolved that approval be given to enter into a contribution agreement with Global Affairs Canada for funding for their Can Export Community Investment Fund totaling $26,275 for use in investment attraction initiatives. Matching funds are available within the town's operating budget. So moved.
Seconder? Councillor Bin. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
And just a blanket statement, Your Worship. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions made at the Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting of January 26, 2021 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder? Councillor Hillier. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Councillor Davis. All right, other committee reports?
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to do an update from the Downtown Business Improvement Association. Held their meeting on January 21st and currently have nominations open for board members for the Downtown Improvement Association. 5 positions are available on the board, and there's postings on our website and through Downtown CBS for the full details on putting your name forward for one of the positions. Of course, the BIA represents businesses from Manuel's Bridge to basically Terminal Road. It's a 3-kilometer stretch with more than 100 commercial and home-based businesses working together to improve vehicle and pedestrian customer experience and grow the commercial base in the area. So for any businesses in the area, it's a great way to get involved and help work to improve the area going forward. Thank you, Your Worship.
Yeah, and I guess this is a good time to thank the people who served on the BIA on behalf of the residents of Conception Bay South and they're busy enough trying to run small businesses, most of them, so thank you very much for taking the time to step up to the plate and keep some economic activity going. And getting through last year was a challenge for sure, and so far this one has been a bit tough as well, so good luck to them and thanks very much for stepping up on behalf of the residents of the town. Other committee reports? There being none, call a motion to adjourn. Deputy Mayor Murphy, second, Councillor Tilley. Thank you very much, folks, and good night.